Tayo, topic natin for today is about the respiratory system. It is related, so this system is related to circulatory and the heart. Okay, kaya magkasunod silang ng discussion natin. So let's start with the brief anatomy of the respiratory system. So the respiratory system consists of structures that we use to acquire oxygen and carbon dioxide from the blood. So in our body, okay, the term respiration means gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide. You all know that we breathe in oxygen during inspiration and we breathe out carbon dioxide during expiration. So may nangyayaring gas exchange in our lungs and in our cells during that process, because we need oxygen for metabolism while carbon dioxide is a waste product of metabolism that we need to remove, otherwise it will result to drastic changes in our blood pH. Malaki ang epekto kapag sobrang excessive ng carbon dioxide levels in the body. Ayun na nga, all cells in the body require oxygen to synthesize the chemical energy molecule ATP. That's the metabolism I'm talking about, while carbon dioxide is a byproduct of that metabolism. And, ito pala, increased levels of carbon dioxide will lower the pH of the blood. Nabanggit na ba sa inyo kung ano yung normal pH of the blood? The normal pH of the blood is 7.35 to 7.45. Diba? So, kapag excessive ang carbon dioxide in the body, nagiging mababa ang pH, ibig sabihin nun, nagiging acidic yung blood natin. That is why, those who have respiratory problems, like yung mga may severe asthma, yung may mga severe chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases, dahil nga ang problem nila paghinga, nag-accumulate yung carbon dioxide in the body, talagang yung pH bumababa, nagiging sobrang acidic. Kaya sa mga mayroong respiratory problem, isa sa mga tests talaga na ino-order ng mga doctors is yung arterial blood gases. In arterial blood gases, blood is drawn from the artery of the patient and then subjected to laboratory analysis in order to detect yung mga levels ng oxygen and carbon dioxide at saka bicarbonate. Yan yung mga dinidetect. Okay? Kasi nababago yung mga yan pagka mayroong problem sa paghinga ang pasyente. Okay? So, again, so that's the introduction to our respiratory system. Now, the respiratory system is composed of, upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. Now, when we say upper respiratory tract, it is composed of the nasal cavity, the pharynx hanggang sa larynx. Upper respiratory tract. Now, everything below the larynx, from the trachea down to the lungs, is called the lower respiratory tract. Kaya nga, di ba, if you have common colds, common cough, di ba, including laryngitis, it is classified as upper respiratory tract infection. So, yung mga common colds na yan, yung mga common cough na yan, upper respiratory tract infection yan. Usually, after 3 days, kusang gumagaling, if you have a normal or healthy immune system. Di ba? Pagka umabot na siya ng 1 week, di ba? At inuubo pa rin, tapos iba na yung kulay ng plema, for example, iba na yung kulay ng sipon, usually pag kulay green na, that means that is already infected and that requires already antibiotics. Di ba? Ngayon, pag yung infection, bumaba na siya sa trachea, sa bronchi, and in the lungs, then that is already lower respiratory tract infection. So, ibig sabihin, kapag ka ang diagnosis mo na hindi na URTI, kasi usually pag nilagay sa medical certificate, di ba, ng doctor, nilagay URTI, ibig sabihin upper respiratory tract infection yan. Eh pag sinabing acute bronchitis, ubo din ang manifestation yan. No? Pero pag acute bronchitis, what does it mean? It's already a form of lower respiratory tract infection. Kasi infection nandito na sa bronchi. Maliwanag ba? No. Ngayon, inflammation of the lungs, pneumonia. Di ba? So, when we say pneumonia, it is also a form of lower respiratory tract infection. Usually naman talaga nagsisimula yan sa taas. Di ba? No? Tapos pag mahina immune system mo, hindi malalabanan, no? Yun, bumababa siya hanggang dun sa lungs. So, it starts with the upper respiratory tract infection. So, tandaan the difference between upper and lower respiratory tract. Now, what's the difference between the conducting zone and respiratory zone? Dito mo rin makikita yan. Dito mo rin makikita ang conducting zone and respiratory zone. Ibig sabihin, ang airway natin can be divided anatomically and functionally. Anatomically, our airway can be divided into upper and lower respiratory tract. Now, functionally, it can be divided into conducting zone and respiratory zone. What do we mean by conducting zone? So, based on its function, when we say conducting zone, daanan lang siya ng hangin. Pag nag-inhale tayo, no, conducting zone lang siya ng hangin. Ibig sabihin, no gas exchange is taking place. Walang nangyayaring gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide. No? So, used strictly for ventilation. Yung daloy lang ng hangin. When we say respiratory zone, nandun na yan sa baba ng lungs natin. These are the small air tubes in the lungs and also in our alveoli where gas exchange is taking place. Usually, nasa loob na talaga ng baga natin yan. Yung may nangyayari na talagang gas exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide. So, remember the difference between conducting zone and respiratory zone. Now, okay. So, isa-isahin na natin, no? Let's start with the upper respiratory tract. Yan, isa-isahin na natin. So, you have your trachea. Summary lang. Ba't ito agad? Wait lang ha. Isa-isahin na natin. Yan, upper respiratory tract. Yan. So, external nose, nasal cavity, pharynx, and larynx. So, external nose, yung pinakailong natin, it encloses the chamber for air inspiration. While yung pinaka-cavity sa loob, ito yung external nose, yung pinaka-cavity sa loob, that's your nasal cavity, no? Which functions mainly for cleaning, warming, and humidifying, no? The air that we inspire. Okay? Kasi bakit may nangyayaring cleaning? Kasi may filtration na nangyayari. May mga balahibo tayo dyan sa ilong. Na it also warms and humidifies the air that we inhale. And then, immediately, it is followed by the throat or the pharynx. No? Okay? Commonly called the throat, and it serves as a shared passageway for food and air. Common yan. Common passageway for both food and air, yung ating throat or pharynx. Di ba? Kaya, ano tawag dito? You cannot breathe and swallow at the same time. Pag mag-swallow tayo ng food or any liquid, humihinto tayo sa paghinga. Di ba? Kasi, di ba, parehong daanan ng hangin yan at daanan ng food. Nakukuha? No? So therefore, dapat may coordinated contraction of the muscles, no, ng ating pharynx kapag tayo ay nagsuswallow ng food. Di ba? May coordinated, may coordinated contraction. Also with the larynx. Kaya yung mga persons na merong nagkakaroon ng brain injury, like for example, stroke patients, traumatic head injury patients, or naapektuhan yung mechanism of swallowing. By the way, the medical term for difficulty swallowing is dysphagia. Dysphagia. So, usually, pag nagkakaroon ng dysphagia, napaparalyze yung mga muscles of the throat. No? Nagkakaroon ng incoordinated contractions of the muscles of the throat. So, ano nangyayari? So, ang tendency is yung food pumapasok sa airway ng pasyente, which can result to aspiration. No? When you say aspiration, it's when food particles or any foreign body enters the airway. Nakuha? Now, usually common yan sa mga na-stroke, sa mga nagkaroon ng head injury. That's why makakakita kayo ng mga pasyente after stroke, naka-NGT muna. NGT is nasogastric tube, wherein ang kinakain ng pasyente is liquid form muna, tapos doon pinapadaan. Yung nasa ilong, no? Hanggang diretso na yan, hanggang doon sa stomach. No? Hanggang hindi pa bumabalik yung normal swallowing mechanism niya. Okay? Na kasi pag hindi ginanon nyo, tapos pinakain ng pilit, no, ang tendency baka mapunta lang yung food sa lungs ng pasyente. Okay, so that's your pharynx. Yung larynx naman is the voice box. So hanggang dyan, rather here, hanggang dyan ang ating upper respiratory tract. Now, lower respiratory tract is your trachea, bronchi, hanggang dun sa lungs. Ito yung ating trachea, no, or windpipe. Tapos here are the left and right, no, bronchi, no, major bronchi, which plunges into the lungs, no. Yan. So that's our lower respiratory tract. Okay, so what are the functions of the respiratory system? Okay, so we have 4 major functions: ventilation, external respiration, gas transport, and internal respiration. Ventilation is simply breathing and the movement of air in and out of the lungs. Pag humihinga tayo, inhale, pumapasok yung hangin, exhale, lumalabas yung hangin. That's simply ventilation. Diba? That's why the machine, no, that is used in the pulmonology section of the hospital to help the patient breathe and breathe out is called the ventilator. No, hindi siya respirator. Ang tawag doon, ventilator. No? Yung makina na merong parang diaphragm na tumataas babang ganun para makahinga yung pasyente, it's called the ventilator. It assists the patient, no, to breathe in and breathe out. Kasi may mga pasyente na hindi sila makakahinga sa sarili nila. Like head injury patients na nawala na ng wala nang malay or wala na comatose na, kailangan talaga ng assisted respiration. Sino pa? Yung mga pasyente na, halimbawa, yung mga na-polio na affected from, ang muscles affected from neck down. Or yung mga nagkaroon ng spinal cord injury patient na affected from neck down. Yes, ano yan?
Ano po yung tawag dun sa mga patients na pagtulog sila natin yung tibok?
Okay. Ay, tibok ng puso. Baka paghinga.
O
Yung natigil yung, tumitigil yung paghinga, OSA, ang tawag doon. Yung mga obstructive sleep apnea. Yan. Obstructive sleep apnea. Yan ang tawag doon. No? Meron pang isa, yung parang na-mention ko na sa inyo doon ng first term. Yung mga Ondin's curse. Ondin's curse. Ondin's curse is a congenital disease affecting the brainstem wherein yun nga na pagtulog yung baby, tumitigil sila sa paghinga. That's why they have to be hooked onto a ventilator, no? Okay? Pangalawa, external respiration. So merong word na respiration, so therefore, sulatan. Okay, so therefore, there is an exchange of gases between air and the lungs, no? And the lung. And then pangatlo, gas transport. So trabaho din, the respiratory system yung gas transport. Pero as you can see, sino nagta-transport ng mga gases? It's our blood. What specific component of the blood? Nasabi na natin last time yan, it's your erythrocytes or your red blood cells. Diba? It's the red blood cells that transports oxygen and carbon dioxide. And lastly, internal respiration. It is the exchange of gases between oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood cells and the tissue. So what's the difference between external and internal respiration? External respiration, exchange of gases between air and the lungs. No? Okay? While yun namang internal respiration is the exchange of gases between our blood cells and our tissues. So remember that. So that's the 4 major functions. But aside from that, there are additional functions. Such as, na-mention na natin kanina, the respiratory system helps in regulating blood pH. What will happen if you will have respiratory failure, unable to breathe properly? Accumulation of carbon dioxide, it will lower the pH. The pH of the blood becomes acidic. No? So may epekto siya sa pH. Pangalawa, production of chemical mediators. The lungs produce enzyme called angiotensin converting enzyme, which helps in the regulation of blood pressure. Ang lungs natin, no, nagpo-produce yan itong ACE, no, or angiotensin converting enzyme, which is important for the regulation of blood pressure. And then, pangatlo, voice production. The air moving past our vocal folds makes the sound and speech possible. Kung walang hangin na dadaan in between the vocal folds will not vibrate. You will not be able to speak. No? Or voice out. Hindi ka makakapag-voice out. No? Kasi kailangan ng hangin na dadaan para mag-vibrate yung vocal cords natin. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, no? Yung pagboses natin, no? Kailangan natin ng, did you know that voicing out or speaking is modified respiration? No? Para din tayong humihinga. So, kaya nga di ba pagkapos sa paghinga, kinakapos sa hininga ang isang pasyente, nakakapagsalita ba ng maayos? Hindi. Di ba? The medical term for difficulty breathing is dyspnea. Okay? So, isa sa mga signs and symptoms of severe dyspnea is unable to talk or to speak properly. Hindi mo talaga makakausap ng maayos ang pasyenteng hirap na hirap huminga. Okay? And then other functions, olfaction, meaning the sense of smell. And then protection, it provides protection against microorganisms by preventing them from entering the body and removing them from the respiratory surfaces. That is, if you have a normal, healthy immune system. Kung mahina ang immune system, di makakapasok yung mga organisms na yan. Okay, like the bacteria that causes pneumonia, for example. Di pasok na pasok yan kung mahina ang iyong immune system. So those are the functions of the respiratory system. So, ayan yung details ng upper respiratory tract na na-discuss na natin kanina, external nose, no? You have external nose, nasal cavity, you have the pharynx, no? And you have the larynx. Okay? So as I've said earlier, the external nose, it encloses, no? Yung nasal cavity natin. And then, yung nasal cavity, mapapansin niyo is surrounded by, ayan ang nasal cavity, ayan ang nasal cavity. Now, the nasal cavity is surrounded by sinuses, which are air-filled cavities in the bones of the skull and the face. Like, for example, you have the frontal sinus above, you have the sphenoidal sinus, no? Posteriorly and anteriorly, hindi lang masyadong, hindi kita dyan sa drawing, pero dito sa maxilla natin, meron tayong maxillary sinuses. No? And these sinuses are lined with an epithelium that produces mucus. No? Nagpo-produce yan ng mga mucus, na parang mucus din sa mga, natin, sa mga respiratory passages natin. No? At yung mucus na yun, directly drains into our nasal cavity. Siyempre, if you have allergic reactions o kaya viral infections, no, yung lining ng nasal passages natin, including the lining of these sinuses, become inflamed. Pag naging inflamed yan, pati yung daanan ng mucus, no, nababarahan kasi namamaga nga siya. Ang tendency ngayon, hindi makalabas yung mucus or yung sipon, naiipon ngayon sila dyan sa loob. No? Yun yung sinusitis na tinatawag. Pag naipon sa loob, the pressure inside the sinuses increases, which now results to pain. No? Pag sobrang taas na ng pressure sa loob, yun yung masakit. Masakit ang ulo, masakit ang muka. Di ba? Bakit sumasakit yung muka? Kasi nandito yung ating maxillary sinuses. No? Ito, ayan, meron tayong sinuses. Kaya sumasakit. Nakukuha? No? So, kaya usually, ang ginagawa mo dyan, yun, yung mga antihistamine, at saka yung mga, anong tawag dito? Yung mga vasoconstrictors such as nasal decongestants, yung mga phenylephrine, no? Na para mag-constrict yung mga blood vessel at mawala yung pamamaga. Para makalabas ulit yung mga sipunan nandito, no? Sa ating sinuses. Okay? So, again, yun yung mechanism ng sinusitis. Now, ano bang purpose nga pala ng mga sinuses na yan? Paranasal sinuses. What is the function of those paranasal sinuses? No? These are resonating chambers of our voice. No? It resonates our voice. Okay? Kaya, kapag punong-puno siya ng sipon, no? Naiiba yung tunog ng boses natin. In short, parang ngungu. No? Ganun din. Parang pag may sipon ka rin sa ilong. Okay? Ganun, kapag meron kang sinusitis. Okay? It also makes the skull lighter. Kasi nga, air-filled chamber sila. Okay? Ngayon, punta na tayo dito sa pharynx. Baba tayo dito sa pharynx. So, yung pharynx natin can be divided into 3 sections. No? The nasopharynx, ito siya. And then you have the oropharynx, and you have the laryngopharynx. Nasopharynx, oropharynx, laryngopharynx. The nasopharynx is located right behind the nasal cavity. No? And then, what are the structures that you will find in the nasopharynx? You will find the pharyngeal tonsils. Nandyan yung ating mga pharyngeal tonsils. Now, what are the functions of the pharyngeal tonsils? Ano ba function ng tonsils natin? Actually, pharyngeal tonsils are remnant of lymphoid tissues. Okay? Remnant of lymphoid tissues. So, ibig sabihin, it has something to do with immunity. No? Ang pharyngeal tonsils natin, it has something to do with immunity. Kaya lang, remnant na siya, kaya hindi na ganun kalakas yung panglaban niya sa infections. Pero it serves as a signaling system of the body. Bakit? Kasi di ba, pag may nakapasok na bacteria or virus sa ilong mo or sa bibig mo, di ba, at nagkaroon ka ng upper respiratory tract infection, alin ang unang namamaga? The tonsils. Di ba? Kaya nga, may nagkakaroon ng tonsillitis. It's the pharyngeal tonsils. Naintindihan ba? Now, in some individuals, the pharyngeal tonsils can be congenitally enlarged. No? Kasi pag pinanganak tayo, malaki naman talaga yan. Habang tumatanda tayo, the pharyngeal tonsils shrinks. Lumiliit na lumiliit yan. Pero may mga bata na habang lumalaki, mas lalo pang lumalaki yung tonsils nila. Yung pharyngeal tonsils nila. Nakuha? Anong result nun? Pag ang pharyngeal tonsils, hindi lumiit yan, at lalo pag namaga, no? What will happen? Sa tingin niyo, what will happen? It will cause airway obstruction. No? Magkukos yan ng airway obstruction. No? Lalo na pag tunog.
So, ino-operahan?
Yun pwede. Ino-operahan siya kapag nagkakaroon ka na ng sleep apnea. Yung mga, paano malalaman? Yung mga bata na malalakas humagok pag natutulog. Yung mga ganon. No? Tapos, hindi lang basta-basta humahagok, yung magugulat ka na lang kasi parang huminto yung maingay. Yun. Pagkatabi mo yun, matutuwa ka pa kasi, ay, sa wakas tumigil na. Pero pag tiningnan mo siya, tumitigil din pala pati yung kanyang paghinga. Tapos bigla na lang mag-gust ng air. Yung parang nalulunod. Ganon. So, yun, ino-opera yun, tinatanggal yun. Okay? Yung eldest son ko, ganyan yung naging case niya. So, pino-opera namin. Kasi ano yun kahit nakaupo siya, halimbawa sa sasakyan, pagkasama namin siya sa kotse, kahit nakaupo, basta nakatulog siya, kahit nakaupo, ang lakas ng snoring niya. Tapos nung examine nga namin, pina-check namin, pagsilip sa tonsils niya, as in sobrang laki. Ang tawag doon, kissing tonsils. Kasi, nandito siya sa magkabilang side ng ng nasopharynx mo. So, sa magkabilang side, yung dalawang tonsils niya, magkadikit na. Kaya kung tawagin, kissing tonsils. So, halos wala ka nang makita space in between. So, kaya pagka natutulog, syempre, di ba, nagiging relaxed yung katawan natin pag natutulog. So, lalong lumiliit yung daanan ng hangin. So, ang tawag dito, yun, lalong nagbabara yung
So
daanan.
kaya pala nagsusnore sir dahil maliit na yung tonsils.
Oh, maliit na yung dinadaanan ng hangin. Di ba? Minsan tayo pag sobrang pagod, di ba? Minsan nag-i-snore din tayo. Nangyayari naman sa atin, yung tongue kasi natin nagfo-fall back, lalo pag naka-supine, yung nakatihaya tayo natutulog, yung tongue natin nagfo-fall back dun sa throat. So, the tendency, mag-snore ka din. So, kaya, anong ginagawa para mag-stop yung snoring? Di ba? Pinapatagilid, pinapa-sideline, no? Para hindi bumara yung tongue. dun sa-
Sure, yung iba, kahit nakatagilid.
Yun. No. So, yun, baka mamaya malalaki na nga yung tonsils nila. Or, sobrang taba. No? Kasi, pag ang isang tao nag-gain ng weight, especially sa mga lalaki, no? Nag-gain din ng fats dito sa area na to. Kaya nga, di ba, nagiging double chin tayo pag tumataba tayo? No? Yun. Lalo na yung mga nag-double chin. Sigurado, naghihilik ng malakas yung mga yan. Kaya isa sa mga para mag-lose ng weight. Kahit ako, nagkaroon din ako ng ganyan. Nung sobrang tumaba ako nung pandemic. No? Nagkaroon din ako ng ganyan. Ano na nga ang isa sa mga option na binigay sa akin ng doktor, ng pulmonologist is, Ozempic. Sabi niya, sir, kung hindi mo kaya magpapayat at hindi hinto yung hindi hinto yung snoring mo, may re-reseta na ako na gamot sa'yo. Actually, hindi Ozempic. Pareho ng Ozempic, sabi niya sa akin. Pero pareho ng effect. Sabi niya, papayat ka doon. Kaya lang may mga side effects. Sabi ko, doon parang ayoko nun. Ayun. So,
Steroids.
hindi siya steroid. Papapayat din siya.
Totoo.
Monjaro.
Totoo pala yung ganyan sir? Mga hindi yung papayat.
Hindi.
Hindi
siya?
na.
Ay, hindi na.
Tinuturok
Ah,
siya.
tinuturo.
Pen siya.
Okay.
Na once a week. May mga celebrity ngayon.
Sir, totoo ba yun? Yung mundial?
Alam mo yun? Ha? Oo, totoo yung nire-reseta yun. Pero yun, hindi yung pampapayat talaga. Pero ginagamit siya as off-label para pumayat. Pero gamot talaga siya for type 2 diabetes.
Anong side effect?
Bloating. Parang kang nasusuka, nausea. Tapos mawawalan ka talaga ng ganang kumain. Kasi ini-enhance niya yung satiety mo. Kasi pinabababangan niya yung blood sugar.
Sir, ano yung sir, pagising sa umaga, sumasakit yung dito?
Hindi ka nahihirapan lumunok?
Hindi, parang nangangatay yung loob.
Ano yan? Rhinitis yan. Allergic rhinitis yan.
Parang after yun, magkakaroon ka na ng lagnat. Sign na yun magkakasakit.
Araw-araw yan? Ganon?
Hindi.
Hindi. Ano
Hindi
yun?
araw-araw.
Ano na yun? Initial infection na yun.
Okay.
Kala ko naman araw-araw, kasi ako ganun, may rhinitis din ako. Na pag sa umaga, parang may plema, nakating-kating, lalamunan hanggang tenga. Ano yun? Okay, maliwanag. Okay tayo doon, ha? Now, you have to differentiate baka nalilito kayo, ha? The tonsils from the uvula. Magkaiba yun. Yung uvula, yun yung pinakadulo ng soft palate natin. Yung nakadangle na gano'n. Di ba pag mga kayo, meron nakadangle na gano'n, na parang grape. Di ba? That's the uvula. No, hindi yun yung tonsils natin. Yung tonsils natin, yung nasa magkabilang side na gano'n. Yun yun. Na pag sobrang laki, yun, nagkikiss na silang dalawa. Kaya ang tawag, kissing tonsils. Na dapat tinatanggal talaga siya.
Sir, ano yung nasa dulo ng uvula?
Nasa dulo ng palate, yung uvula. Ito na yun, yung nasa dulo ng palate natin. Yung pag pinasay, kayo ng doctor. Yung flashlight na gano'n. Yun yan. Okay? So, now, what else do you find in the pharynx, specifically in the nasopharynx? It's the opening of the auditory tube. No? Okay? Meron diyang opening ng auditory tube. Okay, that's why the throat is connected specifically to our middle ear. No? Kaya nga, pag meron kang matindi-tindi na rhinitis or allergic rhinitis, umaabot sa tenga yung kate. Di ba? Kasi connected siya. No? And infections in the pharynx, infections of the throat, no? Okay, can reach the middle ear. Lalo na yung mga chronic infection na hindi nagagamot sa mga bata. No? Nagiging, anong tawag sa Tagalog, nagiging luga. No? Yung middle ear infection. Diba? Kasi umaabot na yung sipon doon sa tenga. It's because of this auditory tube. Okay? That is the reason also why, di ba, kapag nasa taas na yung airplane or umaakit kayo sa Baguio, no, or kahit dyan sa Tagaytay, di ba, pag medyo you already have a sense of fullness in the ear, you just swallow, no, saliva, or you just yawn, no, open wide para bumukas yung auditory tube, no, para i-balance ulit yung air pressure between the ear and the atmosphere. Nakuha? Di ba? Then you have, saan na tayo? Okay na tayo dito sa pharynx. Now let's go to the larynx. Sige. Ayan. So yung larynx natin, no, is located in the anterior throat and extends from the base of the tongue to the trachea. Yung larynx natin is composed of a total of 9 cartilages. 9 na cartilages yan. Pero ang pinakamalaki among those 9 cartilages, lahat ng kulay purple dyan, including this one, actually ito yung pinakamalaki, this is your thyroid cartilage. No? It's the largest piece of cartilage in the larynx. It's your Adam's apple. Okay? It's your Adam's apple. So, ito yung nakabukol dito. Na? It's made up of hyaline cartilage. Ngayon, another cartilage in the larynx is the epiglottis. Ito yung epiglottis natin. Pag anterior and posterior view, yan ang epiglottis natin. Pag lateral view, this is the epiglottis. Now, itong epiglottis is a flap of cartilage that prevents swallowed material from entering the larynx. Pag nagsuswallow tayo, yung epiglottis nagtitilt downward yan para sarahan yung larynx natin so that food particles will not enter the trachea. No? So, kusang sumasara yan yung ating
So, yun po yung
epiglottis.
nararamdaman natin pag nalilok.
Paano nararamdaman?
Hindi nararamdaman.
Hindi yan. Kasi nasa loob na loob yan. Nasa loob na loob ng ano natin yan. Ng larynx natin yan. So, sumasara yan. That's why when we swallow, temporarily, tumitigil din tayo sa paghinga. Kasi sinisil off ni epiglottis yung ating airway. Okay? Now, in the larynx, no? Sa larynx natin, okay, you will also find the vestibular folds and the vocal folds. No? So, usually makikita mo yan when the doctor asks the patient to say tapos may ipapasok na endoscope. No? Pag ipinasok yung endoscope, ito yung makikita. Ito yung drawing lang, ito yung actual. No? So, nasaan yung vestibular folds? Vestibular folds, ito yun, yung nasa gilid. Okay? While the vocal folds, ito yun, yung puti. Okay? Yan yung, pag nagvo-voice tayo, pag nagvo-voice out tayo, the vocal folds adduct, no? Sasara yan, tapos dadaan yung hangin sa pagitan nila. Pag daan yung hangin, magbabibrate yan. Doon nagpo-produce ng voice. Yun yun. Ano to? Pag ganyan, ba? Di ba? Pag gumano ka, pag nag-voice kang ganun, ibig sabihin, nakasara yung vocal folds mo, dumadaan lang yung hangin. No? Pagdaan ng hangin, nagbabibrate siya, kaya may boses. Di ba? Pero, di ba merong salita ng pabulong? Ha?
Pipe.
Eh pag, di, ang pipi pwede pa rin mag-voice out eh. Di ba? Kasi, ang problema kasi ng mga pipi, yung ano nila eh. Actually, it's the articulation, not the voicing. When you say articulation, dila, yung mouth. Nakuha niyo yung boy? Pero yung pag-voicing, meron. Nakuha niyo? So, di ba merong salita na pabulong? Di ba yung, di ba? Yung, di ba yung, di ba? So, hindi ka nag-voicing nun. Kasi ang nilabas mo puro hangin. Pag nagsalita ka ng pabulong, iba naman yung pabulong na mahinang voice lang ha. Pwede rin kasi, di ba? May voice pa rin yun. Nakuha niyo yung point. As opposed to, di ba? Puro hangin lang. Pag puro hangin lang, as in whispering, ibig sabihin, nakabukas. Nakabukas. Nakuha niyo yung point. Pag gano'n, may boses pa rin yun ha. Pag bumoses ka, may ano pa rin yun ha, nakasara pa rin yun. Pero pag puro hangin lang, yung salitang puro hangin lang, yun, di ba? Yung ganun lang.
Ang galing ka.
Nakuha niyo yung point, naka-ano yun, nakabukas ang ano mo nun. Nakuha niyo yung point, nakabukas yung voice box mo na. For your information, when someone is intubated to be hooked on a ventilator, kailangan ipasok dyan yung endotracheal tube.
So, hindi ba yung nakaka-check?
Kasi di ba ang endotracheal tube, tandaan nyo, kailangan makaabot dito. Kailangan makaabot ang endotracheal tube dito.
So, yun na yung tinutubukan?
Yun! Yun ang tinutubuhan. No? So, kaya makita mo, kaya ang nakakatakot sa pagtutubo, no? Sa intubation, actually, is yung instrument na ginagamit. Di ba? Yung nakalimutan ko tawag, yung parang ganito yung...
Plastic, sir.
Hindi siya plastic eh, metal siya actually. Yung ganito yung...
So yung pambuka ng...
Oo, para bumuka yung bibig, tapos para ma-depress yung baba, at saka yung tongue. Yan. Tapos, saka ipapasok ngayon yung...
Sir, paano ko sa ibang butos pumasok yung...
Yun na nga. Kaya nga ano yun eh, no? Usually ang it requires practice and usually ang gumagawa niyan anesthesiologist. Diba? Pagtutubo. So ito yun. Kaya imagine dito, di ba? Nandyan. Sa tingin mo makakapagboses ang mga nakatubo?
No.
Hindi makakaboses yan kasi hindi magdidikit yung kanilang vocal folds.
Sir, pero makakalunok sila.
Hindi rin.
Eh, sir, paano yung laway nila?
Yun na nga. Kaya kailangan laging, lagi silang sinasuction sa, sa bibig. Pero pag unconscious naman, hindi sila naglalaway eh. Yung mga conscious na pasyente. Kaya nandito yan sa gilid.
So yung parang sa dentist?
So dahil huwag naman
Iba naman
makatubo
yun.
na nga lalayaw.
Hindi ko yung sa...
Iba yun. Iba pa yan. Iba din yung ginagamit sa hospital.
Hanggang ka muna.
Ayan, dito oh. Kaya usually pagkatanggal ng tubo, paus yung pasyente. Kasi tumatama yung vocal cords
Sir, paano pagdasamin?
sa tubo. Actually, nangyayari talaga.
Pag nag-choke.
Pag conscious ang pasyente, nangyayari
Eh, di
talaga.
sir, sakit
Pag
lang.
kaya mas maganda pa nga unconscious ang pasyente. Nakakaawa ang conscious na pasyente pag nakatubo. Ay, hindi. Nakakatulong yon. Ano yun? That's a misconception of relatives. Misconception yung mga relatives eh. Pag in-advise ng doktor na kailangan po siyang tubuhan para matulungan yung paghinga niya. Kasi usually kaya tinutubuhan kasi bagsak na yung oxygen at hindi na makahinga mag-isa yung pasyente, hindi na niya kayang huminga mag-isa. So kahit bigyan mo yan ng oxygen mask, bigyan mo yan ng cannula, kung hindi niya kayang huminga mag-isa, hindi pa rin papasok yung oxygen. So kailangan yung hangin idiretso na sa loob ng baga at kailangan meron ng huminga para sa kanya. So yun, kaya
Sir,
tinutubo.
kaya nakatubo yung mga ina-operahan ng upper X.
Yeah, yung mga usually after surgery, di ba? Kapag, lalo na pag general anesthetics.
Sir, okay lang.
Oo! Kaya siguro nagkaroon ng misconception na kasi pag tinubuhan yan, hindi na matatanggal yan, dyan na mamamatay yan. Kasi kaya tinutubuhan, critical! Wala ka namang tutubuhan na hindi critical eh. Usually, pag tinubuhan, talaga critical yung pasyente. So may chances na, kumbaga 50-50 na yung chances niya. So, makakatulong yun sa pasyente. Okay, saan na tayo? So, okay na tayo doon, ha? The difference between the vocal folds and the vocal cords. The vocal cords are the true, mali pala. Vestibular folds or the false vocal cords, and then you have your vocal folds or the true vocal cords. So, tandaan niyo yan. Now, lower respiratory tract tayo. So sa lower respiratory tract, again, ang kasunod ng larynx natin is the trachea. No? Ang kasunod ng larynx natin is the trachea. No? The trachea is also known as the windpipe. No? And it is made up of stacks of C-shaped cartilages. Yung mga kulay blue na yan, it's made up of hyaline cartilage. And then, yung at the end, sa pinakadulo ng trachea natin, it bifurcates into two, to form the main bronchi. So yung tubo hanggang dito yan sa bifurcation. Hanggang dito sa dulo ng trachea natin. Okay? Now let's go to the Yan. Sa bifurcation niya, it divides into right and left primary bronchi, at the level of the carina. Itong point of bifurcation, ang tawag natin dyan, is the carina. And again, it contains C-shaped pieces of cartilage. Okay. Now, ito, pag nag-divide yan, makita nyo, as it plunges into the lungs, it divides into smaller branches, that creates, na an image na para siyang puno, parang tree na may mga smaller branches. Ang tawag natin dyan, it's called the tracheobronchial tree. The tracheobronchial tree. On each of our lungs, meron tinatawag na tracheobronchial tree. So the term is used to describe the branching out of the bronchi as it enters the lungs. Makita nyo, as it branches out, mas lumiliit yung branches niya. So number 1, you have the left and right primary bronchi. Sagutin ko lang to. Ano? Sige. Okay, so nasa na tayo? So again, you have the left and right primary bronchi. Now, dito, although hindi siya masyadong halata, in terms of anatomy, there is a difference between the left and right primary bronchi. The left primary bronchi is somewhat longer, while the right primary bronchi is somewhat shorter. Bakit mas mahaba ng konti yung left primary bronchi? It's because of the presence of the heart here. You have to remember, nandito yung puso natin at medyo nakaturo siya papunta sa kaliwa. Di ba? So in order to accommodate the heart, the left primary bronchi is longer. Okay? Tapos, it is also somewhat narrower. And it is more horizontal. Again, it's because it accommodates the presence of the heart. While the opposite of that characteristic is the right primary bronchi. Yung right primary bronchi, mas wider siya, and then it is more vertical, mas pababa siya. That is why, mas mataas daw ang chances of aspiration, meaning yung pagpasok ng mga foreign bodies sa lungs natin through or via the right primary bronchi. Mas madalas ang aspiration pneumonia sa right side. It's because of the dimensions of the right primary bronchi. So remember that. Now, as they plunge into the lungs, each of the primary bronchi divides into secondary bronchi. No? Again, no? Yung primary pagpasok sa lungs magiging secondary, also known as lobar bronchi. No? Lobar bronchi because they supply air into each lobe of the lung. So makikita nyo, yung left lung has two lobes, the superior and inferior lobe, kasi nakita nyo may hati dito, di ba? Yung right lung has three lobes, superior, middle, and inferior. So therefore, the left primary bronchi divides into two, no, lobar or secondary bronchi. While ito naman, yung right will divide into three, no, secondary bronchi. Superior, middle, and inferior, corresponding to the three lobes of the right lung. And then, pangatlo, you have the segmental or tertiary bronchi. Again, segmental or tertiary bronchi. So, ibig sabihin, from trachea, nahati sa dalawang primary, tapos yung dalawang primary, nahati pa sa secondary, no? Or lobar. Yung secondary, nag-divide pa into segmental or tertiary bronchi. In order to supply air to individual bronchopulmonary segments of the lungs. Although hindi kita dito sa drawing, ang kita lang kasi di ba yung fissure dividing the lobes of the lungs, in each lobe, meron pang mga segment ang lungs natin. Each of those segments, no, are supplied by segmental or tertiary bronchi. In cases wherein, no, sections of the lungs has to be removed dahil may tumor, for example, no, okay, usually yung pagtanggal ng bawat sections of the lungs is at the level of bronchopulmonary segments or lung segments. Yung ating right lung has, pakitandaan na lang, wala kasi sa libro natin yan, yung right lung natin has 12 segments. Yung ating left lung has 10 segments. Bakit mas kunti yung left lung? Eh kasi meron siyang notch in order to accommodate the presence of the heart. Okay? And then, yung segmental or tertiary bronchi will further divide into smaller airways called the bronchioles. And we have two kinds of bronchioles, the terminal bronchioles and the respiratory bronchioles. Let's take a look at that. Ayan. So, yan, when you enlarge these sections of the lungs, so makikita nyo dito yung mas maliliit pa na areas, no, ng ating airway. So, ayan, yung terminal at saka respiratory bronchioles. What's the difference between a bronchi, di ba kanina bronchi ang ginamit na terminology. Pagdating dyan sa baba, yung maliliit, ang tawag na natin bronchioles. What's the difference besides the size? Okay? Di ba? Primary bronchi, secondary bronchi, tertiary bronchi. Di ba? Pagdating doon, nung nahati pa, naging bronchioles na. What's the difference? Yung bronchi is made up mainly of what? Cartilage. No? Parang yung sa trachea, cartilage. Ibig sabihin, since it's made up of cartilage, it's non-collapsible. Hindi siya basta-basta nagko-collapse. Kaya pala amoy kating ko. Okay, amoy matanda. De, joke lang. Okay. So, naku ha, hindi siya basta-basta nagko-collapse. No? Hindi siya lumiliit, hindi siya lumalaki kasi it's made up of cartilage, yung walls niya. Ngayon, how about the bronchioles? The bronchioles already have smooth muscles. So medyo mas malambot ang bronchioles kaysa sa bronchi. Kumbaga, kung mahahawakan lang natin yan, ang bronchi, pag itinry mong i-press, magko-collapse ba siya? Hindi. Ang bronchioles, pag tinry mong i-press, magko-collapse ba siya? Yes, medyo malambot siya kasi smooth muscles yung walls niya. Aside from that, since it's made out of smooth muscles, pag nag-contract kaya yung smooth muscles, what will happen? Dun sa diameter niya. Di ba? Pag nag-contract yung smooth muscles, the diameter will constrict. Nakuha niyo yung point? Liliit siya. Kasi it's made up of smooth muscles. Ang tawag natin doon, pag nag-contract ang smooth muscles at lumiit siya, it's called bronchoconstriction. May nangyayaring bronchoconstriction at the level of the bronchioles. Nakuha? Both in the terminal and respiratory bronchioles. Nakuha? Kailan tayo nagkakaroon ng excessive bronchoconstriction? Excessive bronchoconstriction happens when there is severe asthma attack. No? Pag mayroong severe asthma attack, yan, nagkakaroon ng bronchoconstriction yan. Pero tandaan nyo ang asthma, combination yan ng inflammation of the airway plus bronchoconstriction. Imagine mo, magang-magana yung airway mo, lumiit na nga, yung daanan ng hangin, magko-constrict pa, edi wala nang dadaanan yung hangin. Ganun, ang severe asthma attack, yung tinatawag na status asthmaticus, wherein it's a life-threatening condition. Kasi wala nang daanan yung hangin. Nakukuha niyo yung point? Kaya ang treatment for acute asthma attack, yung mga short-acting bronchodilator, na tinatawag. Ang ginagawa niya, tinatanggal niya yung pamamaga ng airway, tapos they also induce bronchodilation. Pinapabukan niya yung daanan ng hangin. So yung mga inhaler, mga short-acting inhaler, yun ang ginagawa. No? Nakuha? Pagka nagkakaroon ng asthma attack, para makahinga. So yan yung mga smooth muscles niyo. Yan. No? So both terminal and respiratory bronchial. Now, what's the difference between terminal and respiratory? Sa level ng terminal bronchial, wala pang nangyayaring gas exchange. No? Pero pag pumasok na ang hangin dito sa respiratory bronchial, hanggang dyan sa baba, there is already gas exchange. Remember the two portions of the respiratory system that we mentioned earlier? No? Yung conducting zone and respiratory zone. Ano yung conducting zone? Daanan lang siya ng hangin. So from the nasal cavity hanggang terminal bronchioles, daanan lang ng hangin yan. Conducting zone lang yan. But from the respiratory bronchioles hanggang sa dulo, conducting zone. Respiratory zone yan. Because may nangyayaring gas exchange. Maliwanag? Okay? So tandaan, nasa na tayo? Nasa respiratory bronchioles. Nandito na tayo respiratory bronchioles. Tapos, pabalik tayo sa drawing na yun. Yan. So after ng respiratory bronchioles, it will further divide into smaller branches known as alveolar ducts. These are ducts that lead into yung mga air sacs of the lungs that we call alveolar sacs. No? Okay? Ito ang bawat isa dyan. Ang tawag dyan, alveolar sacs. Dyan ultimately, nangyayari yung gas exchange. Kaya makita nyo, each of those alveolar sacs are enclosed with capillaries. Di ba? No? May enclosed with capillaries. Kung baga, kung idodrawing mo yan, ito ang isang alveolus, tapos nababalot yan ng capillaries. Yan. Nakuha niyo yung point? Wherein, yung oxygen that we inhaled from the air, na pumasok dyan, nakuha niyo? By ventilation, humingi ka. No? Pinasok mo yung hangin sa baga mo, nakapasok sa alveolus. Yung oxygen now will cross the wall of the alveolus to go to your blood. By what? By, na-discuss na natin yan, simple diffusion. Nakuha niyo yung point? Tapos ito namang si carbon dioxide, na waste product ng katawan natin, na nanggaling sa different cells of the body, will cross Di ba? The wall of the capillary para makarating naman dito sa alveolus. Also by simple diffusion. Para when we exhale, ilalabas naman natin siya to the atmosphere. Nakuha nyo? Di ba? So nandito yung ventilation, yung movement ng hangin. Dito naman nangyayari yung gas exchange. Eh, di ba tatlo yun? Ay, apat yun. Yung major functions, yung apat na major functions of the respiratory system. Ventilation, di ba? External respiration, di ba? External respiration is the exchange between our blood and the atmosphere. Nakuha nyo? And the lungs. Nakuha? Di ba? O, nasan yung pangatlo? Yung gas transport. Di ba? Pangatlo, gas transport. Eh, di yung pag-transport yun ng oxygen from your lungs going to your cells. Maliwanag ba? Nakuha nyo? Sa cells natin, may capillaries din. Oh. Nakuha? Di ba? Wherein, oxygen is transported going there, while carbon dioxide is transported back to the lungs. Nakuha nyo? So ito, yung pangatlo, gas transport. Ano yung pang-apat? Ano? Kanina, binanggit natin. Internal respiration. So, isa-isahin natin ulit. Gas transport ulit. Ventilation, external respiration, yung gas exchange between the lungs and the blood. Gas transport, and then you have internal respiration. Paano internal respiration? Oxygen goes into the cells by simple diffusion. Carbon dioxide goes into the capillaries also by simple diffusion. Nakuha? So yun na yun, yung apat na yun. Maliwanag ba? Okay? Ngayon, so balik tayo dito. So dito nangyayari. Sa lungs, dito nangyayari yung gas exchange. Okay? So as a summary, okay, meron pa tayong 10 minutes. So sa summary, ayan, yung ating tracheobronchial tree. No? At hindi pa naka-enumerate lahat dyan yung generations. Did you know that all in all, no, kung bibilangin mo daw kung ilang beses nag-branch out yung mga yan sa loob ng lungs natin. All in all, 23 times. That's why pag tinanong kayo, how many generations does the tracheobronchial tree have? It's 23 generations. Na, ibig sabihin, 23 beses nag-branch out bago makarating dun sa dulo, sa alveoli. No? So this is what I'm telling about earlier. When there is bronchodilation, the smooth muscles relax, making the bronchial diameter larger. Again, posible lang yan sa bronchial, ha? Kasi yun lang ang may smooth muscle. Bronchoconstriction, the smooth muscle contracts, making the bronchial diameter smaller. In an asthma attack, there is contraction of the terminal bronchiole, that leads to reduced airflow. But you have to remember, in asthma, it's not just bronchoconstriction, but also inflammation of the airway. Kaya sa asthma, no, yung gamot na binibigay, yung ini-inhale, hindi lang siya pang bronchodilate, pampahupa din nung inflammation of the airway. Okay? Okay. So, again, yung alveoli, yung pinaka-site ng external respiration, itong dinrawing ko kanina, ito, dito nagkakaroon ng initial exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. No? So, we have around 300 million of alveoli in our lungs. Okay? Okay na to. Yan. So, doon na tayo sa membrane where gas exchange take place. Titingnan natin itong membrane na to, kung saan tumatawid yung oxygen and carbon dioxide. The membrane that separates the alveolus from the pulmonary capillaries. So So, asan yun? Ito siya. Ito yung loob ng ano, no? Ito yung loob ng bawat capillary, ng bawat alveolus natin. And they are surrounded by pulmonary capillaries. This is cross-section. Nakuha niyo yung point? Kaya makita mo, may capillary dito, may capillary dito, may capillary dito, which contains the red blood cells. Nakukuha? So dito tumatawid yung oxygen, di ba? Pag in-inhale mo, pasok yung oxygen dyan, tatawid siya pa ganyan. Samantala yung carbon dioxide, dito naman gagaling, papunta naman dun. That's why when you enlarge this section, eto makikita mo. Yung red arrow represents oxygen diffusion, the blue arrow represents carbon dioxide diffusion. In direction. Nagpapalit sila ng pwesto during gas exchange. Maliwanag ba? And this is called the respiratory membrane kasi dito nag-occur yung exchange between oxygen and carbon dioxide. Maliwanag ba? Okay. Now, in cases of pneumonia, alam niyo nangyayari pagka mayroong severe pneumonia ang isang tao, namamaga yung lungs. No? At pag namamaga yung lungs, there is this tendency for, di ba pag ang tissue namamaga, anong tendency? Di ba? Bakit lumalaki ang isang body part pag namamaga? Because there is excessive accumulation of fluid. Tama ba? Pag natapilok ka at namaga, no, may accumulation of fluid doon. Naiintindihan nyo? Di ba? Nagka-ACL injury ang isang athlete, lumobo yung tuhod, may accumulation ng excessive fluid. Di ba? Pericarditis, nag-accumulate yung fluid, naging pericardial infusion. Nakukuha niyo yung point? Ganon din sa lungs natin. Ganon din sa lungs natin. In pneumonia, saan naman nag-accumulate yung fluid? Okay. So, sasagutin natin yan. But first, let us enumerate the layers of the respiratory membrane. What makes up the layers of the respiratory membrane? No? So, bilangin natin siya. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 na layers. So, ibig sabihin, si oxygen, kailangan niyang tumagos dun sa 6 na layers na yon in order to diffuse to the other side. Same with carbon dioxide. Ano yung 6 na layers na yon? Sa side ng alveolus, ang unang layer yung kulay blue. Ano kaya yung kulay blue na yon? It's your alveolar fluid. Alveolar fluid na may kasamang surfactant. Okay? Next meeting na natin i-discuss kung ano yung surfactant. Basta tandaan nyo, ang alveolar fluid natin may kasamang surfactant. Okay? So, kung gusto nyo mag-advance reading na kayo, i-search nyo na kung ano yung surfactant para alam nyo na next meeting. No? And then, kasunod nun, yan, kung saan nakapatong yung surfactant, kasunod nun is the alveolar epithelium. It's the main tissue of our alveolus. And then, kasunod ng alveolar epithelium, kung saan nakadikit yung epithelium natin, it's the alveolar basement membrane. Ito na yun, yung malinaw na purple. Okay? And then, after ng alveolar basement membrane, no, is a space actually. Is a space. Yung kulay white na yan, space na yan. Yan yung space between the alveolus and the capillary. Yung kulay white na yan. And this is called the interstitial space. It's the space between two tissue types. And that is where excess fluid accumulates if there is inflammation, if there is pneumonia. Diyan nag-accumulate yung fluid. What do you think will happen pag ang fluid nag-accumulate, yung tubig sa baga, nag-accumulate dyan sa interstitial space? What do you think will happen to the thickness of the respiratory membrane? The thickness will increase, kakapal yan. Pag makapal ang respiratory membrane, kasi normally, manipis lang yan. Naintindihan? Sobrang nipis lang yan. To facilitate yung mabilis na diffusion ng oxygen and carbon dioxide. Pag kumapal siya dahil may pneumonia ka, what do you think will happen? Hindi yung oxygen-carbon dioxide gas exchange will be impaired. Naintindihan? Kaya, no, hirap na hirap huminga ang may mga severe pneumonia. Yun yung reason, no, behind that. Maliwanag ba? Okay? So, now, ano yung kasunod ng interstitial space? it's the basement membrane of the capillary endothelium. And then followed by the pulmonary capillary endothelium itself. So yun yung 6 na layers. So now, alam nyo na kung saan nag-accumulate yung fluid na kapag ka mayroong severe pneumonia ng isang pasyente. Tandaan, no, yung ating respiratory membrane. So hanggang dyan muna tayo. So wala pa tayong quiz next meeting. Next meeting naman, we will be discussing the mechanics of breathing. Okay? Hanggang matapos natin, sana matapos natin hanggang arterial blood gases. Ma'am? Okay? Sige. See you.